Hey everybody, it's Adam here with Pursue to Better. I wanted to make a video today and talk to you about changing your life. And I think truly one of the biggest ways you can change your life is by changing your environment. And for me, even though I've done it so many times over the years, every time I do it, it is one of the truly most powerful reset buttons on your life that you can truly create. For me, leaving the US, leaving the life that I knew there, leaving everything behind was absolutely one of the most scary, frightening, paralyzing experiences I ever had, but it was also probably one of the best things I've ever done for my life. It really helped me grow and transform into a totally new and different type of person. And I think in a way, like you take an onion and you peel back the layers to get to the core of what's really underneath it. I don't know, again, like using that metaphor, you wouldn't want to eat an onion necessarily as it is, right? Like you'd want to take off the outer layers, you'd want to peel off the skin of the onion. I think it's the same with us as human beings in a lot of ways, that we need to peel back these layers of where we're from, where we grew up, our life and our world as we knew it. And that really helps us become who we're meant to be. You need to find ways to peel back the layers of the reality and of the world that you've known, the environment, the community, the circles that you've grown up in. It's really, truly one of the most incredible ways to catalyze and accelerate your growth as a human being. I just want to share with you my top 3 biggest benefits to really transform and change your life by leaving your home, leaving your country, moving abroad. So let's get into that. Number 1, that I could rediscover life. I could really rediscover the realities of the world. I was living in these situations in the US where, people had lots of money, people had lots of safety and security. On the surface, it seemed like they had it made. But I didn't really feel that people were necessarily happy. More and more, people were quite pessimistic and cynical in a lot of ways. And there was a good amount of complaining that I feel like was going on. And I just felt this was tearing me down in a lot of ways. And I felt like life can't be this bad, right? Life can be really beautiful and really wonderful. So it can really create this space and this new reality for you to experience life in the world. Of course, it depends where you end up. I spent a good amount of time in Puerto Rico, South America, Colombia, and I just felt like there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of happiness that people are experiencing here. People are very relaxed, enjoying the simple things of life. And that gave me a lot of room and a lot of space to think about myself and my reality. Really a new space, a new sandbox to play in, to adventure, to explore, and to find yourself, and to really get a sense of who are you. And that's something that is incredibly hard and incredibly difficult when you're in your traditional environment where you grew up, where your friends and family are. Because, like us as humans, our habits, our patterns are all triggered by our environment and by cues in the environment. When you pull all that back and you're in a completely new environment where you don't know anything and you don't know the streets, you don't know the stores, you don't know how life works necessarily, it really just creates, again, this awesome space for you to discover yourself at the end of the day, and not what your environment, what your childhood home, what your neighborhood, your friends and family, what all of those things say about you and about who you are, who you should be, what's normal. This really is such a transformative part of it. And this is why I'd recommend longer travel or really living abroad to just about anybody. And it can be so important to your growth and to your development as a person. All right, so number 2, peace and freedom and just space in your mind and in your thoughts. Let's break this down. Let's take this back, right? Like, how do kids learn language or learn concepts? They're around their family, they're around their friends, school, teachers, grandparents. They just listen, they observe, and they're just present, and they're sucking it all up like a sponge, and they're really getting a good sense of what is reality, right? It's how they're shaping and forming their sense of reality and their self-concept. When you go live in another country or another culture, you're not constantly bombarded with as much input. And again, this sense of reality and what's normal is totally different than what you'd expect. Living abroad long-term for more than a year, this is huge. This can really transform how you experience and see life and the world. I remember when I went to Puerto Rico, and they have this unique way of speaking Spanish in Puerto Rico. Because they're an island and they're somewhat isolated, it literally changed their language, their local version of their language, versus the type of Spanish you'd hear in other parts of Latin America. And I know there's, let's say like in Europe, of course, a lot of these countries have open borders. They're not surrounded by water all around them, or it still is somewhat of an island, because when the culture and the language is so distinct and so different, there's not as much crossover. Like, I mean, even between France and Germany, there is some cultural and linguistic exchange. You do find some like French words in German. It still ends up being like a bit of an island. So this is incredibly important to strip away that echo chamber, that sort of isolation, what you think is the reality of life on this planet. I guarantee you, really go live in a different culture with a different language than yours. What you thought was reality is far from the truth. Just go do it. It will be one of the most life-changing and transformative experiences of your life. The final point, how educational the experience can be, and also how much it fosters a sense of appreciation and gratitude. You get to see sort of this bigger picture from reality, from Earth. Astronauts and people who've gone on spacewalk looking at Earth, they have the overview or the overlook effect. You have this sort of view that totally changes how you see the world. What really fosters a better sense of gratitude for life. When you go back to wherever you're from, you have much more of a sense of how things are what they are and why they are what they are. This is the educational aspect of it, because I think we take for granted so much of the things that are just normal in our day-to-day life. Yeah, our family, our friends, our community, all of the things that make these places very special and wonderful in their own right. When I lost my dad in 2018, and also then when I moved abroad, I never really think I realized how much I'd miss getting to just see my mom, see my dad, getting to spend time with them. I spent a lot of time with them growing up, and I guess in a way I also needed time and space away to discover myself and create the adult, grown-up, fully developed version of Adam. But you truly don't really know what you've caught until it's gone. If I'm lucky these last years, I'll see my mom every 2 years. It's really special for me when I actually get to spend time with her and I get to spend quality time with her. And I don't know how much time I have left with any of these people. That is a bit of the paradox of this sort of thing. The distance and the space really shows you what you can really miss and appreciate. And it also helps you kind of filter out and identify the things that I guess aren't necessarily so important for you. You really see who cares about you. And same for you. Who are you missing? Who do you want to spend more time with? There's probably no better way and really seeing the truth and the reality of it than taking those things away, than removing them from your day-to-day, week-to-week, even month-to-month life. And then you really see what's important. And honestly, you have to have space and time and reflection for that. Those are the top big 3 lessons about why, as excruciatingly tough and painful it can be sometimes, why it's very important to leave everything behind and get out there, go on a new adventure, leave it all behind, see what you find. When you have all that stuff, like imagine a huge backpack and you have like 2 backpacks that you're carrying in your rolling suitcase. When you got all that on you, how can you really pick up anything new from this beautiful life and this beautiful world that we're a part of? That's what I'd give you. Thank you for being here with me today. Again, my name's Adam. If you have seen these videos before and if you're returning to the channel, I thank you. Please leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts about this. If you like this type of content, please send me some sort of message, leave a comment. It really helps me know how I can tailor the content and the topics to you. Take care of yourself and try and get out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. Peace.